the last show of the month on the 999 show. Art, like and sub if you like the content. We are going to be trying this experiment again of using the acrylics like watercolors, and these are golden acrylics, and we're going to be trying to paint this little boat. I do have a reference photo right here that I'm using. I'll show you that right now. And so that's the reference photo. I have tried this one before, but I was using my Van Gogh pocket box with that one. But tonight we're just using these colors. So I think I'm going to do like I did the other night and use the two brush method. And I think we'll start with this. Yeah, let's just start with this one. And we'll make a, hey Zero, how you doing? Yeah, how you doing, man? And here, I got some yellow. We'll put down on how's school doing and all. I'm gonna kind of put in here, making a sun here, and yeah, we'll put this yellow in here, and yeah, I'm sure it is. Well, maybe when you're 16, you can go to community college. You can get out, and then you can go to school with some older students, and go to school with some older students, and just you know, uh, at community college or something like that. Of course, that would be mean getting a GED instead of um, a high school diploma. I know that I thought about doing that, and I actually wish I would have done that, because then you could get into a situation that's more challenging, and you might find junior college academics to be a bit more challenging to you than. Welcome, welcome, Vontae Williams. Technically, this is not a watercolor. Technically, this is a an acrylics painting. Yeah, I did that. I did that too. I did that in high school as well, with writing courses and so forth. And it makes a difference, but still but you're still, but if you really want to be challenged, yeah, you could still yeah, you might. What you might do is, if you could, just take some community college courses. I started taking community college courses when I was a freshman in high school. But what I started taking was like taekwondo, and then it kind of then I took like writing. I did a lot of writing in community college, but then that was, and then when I did actually I went to a community college for a little bit after high school. I needed some. Oh yeah, I forgot. The sale is over here. You have to remember these guidelines here. Okay, so we'll come in, and maybe we'll just go use a smaller brush here. Yeah, still get your diploma. But when I was like 18 through 2021, approximately into that time frame. There was and it started actually, there was a kid who he started taking those college courses. He was like 12 or 13 when he started taking college courses. And then when he graduated from high school, he had like what did he have? He had, well, he went when he graduated from high school. He went to MIT, and went to MIT and became an average student at MIT. And so he was brilliant. He was probably the smartest kid I'd ever met in my life. And what was his name? Micah, I think that was his name. He's probably like 50 years old by now. I always wondered what happened to him. We'll get that water to run on there, but he was taking high level physics courses when he was 16 years old at a local university. He took everything that he could take at the community college, which were, he was like in 8th grade taking college algebra and writing classes, and then yeah. Get this paint to run in here. But these paintings oftentimes work better when I'm talking along with it. And so I'm not like concentrating on the painting. I'm just putting the color in and thinking about talking. Yeah. Your eye bags are kind of bad and you need to start getting more sleep. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. You can do that. And then when you do need to have more sleep, man, you probably should be getting like 9 hours a night, 9 to 10 hours a night at your age. And, you know, going for like 6 hours of sleep or whatever it is you're getting, it's no good. Yeah, but it's an hour earlier where you're at, if I remember right. Maybe in the summertime you can come on as a guest. I did that paint off with one of those guys. That's providing your folks have a good night. Yeah, providing your folks would want you to go on. If that's something you'd be cool with, that would be kind of fun. Well, I'm using. Good night. Yeah, and thanks for popping in because I was really kind of wondering how you were doing and all. Kind of mixing that water in as we go along. So, I mean, really, it's not really watercolor. This is literally acrylic paints that we're dealing with here. I think we'll put some of this down in here. Into the water. Yeah, I'm trying to get it go as fast as I can here. I'll probably end this stream right before midnight, so that the watch hours go onto the month of March and don't cross over into the next month. So what I'm doing with one brush is I'm applying water onto the cotton watercolor paper, and just get it to absorb in. And so just adding light into it, into the picture here. Again, get this in here. And before I started, I did a sketch. I used a charcoal pencil, and I just did a rough freehand sketch. So yeah, adding the water in there just helps to blend the colors in a bit better. And then so instead of mixing the colors down on a palette board and then doing that, that's why I'm opting to do it this method here, which I never really thought of until my my last Friday night's live stream. I never thought to do anything like that. It's things that you learn. It was one of my guests, and we did art together, and he was from Newfoundland. And so we started at 9 o'clock my time, which was 4.5 hours later his time. Really late. And I'm going to come over to the... no, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to build this thing. We'll start with the yellows. Again, we did the... got it backwards here. Ah, it's all right. We have my yellow sun, which is coming out clear out there. Technically speaking, we can just leave some of the paper white, and that should take care of I'm going to add this in here, where I could have just left it white in the first place, but it's going to, I like the texture. It'll have a different texture to it by doing it this way. Got the white sun, and then coming down onto here. We'll probably have to come down onto it a second time. I'm going to go over it. I should just leave that white end of the paper altogether. And yeah, we'll do that. Coming in over here. Makes it kind of like clouds. And clean that out over here. Yeah, I guess the beauty of doing it this way is that maybe you have more control over what's going on. Okay, let's go into do some... I'm going to use this, my Zilron Crimson over here. I actually I couldn't find it, and then I did find it. I'm going to put it up here. It gets that, really that, for nature colors. Welcome, Panan Mishra. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the last stream of the month of March. See if it'll blend it in there and get that nice orangey color. Mm-hmm. This is the two-handed, the two-brush technique. I suspect in my reference photo that they used a palette knife to paint this. I have not yet mastered the palette knife. Oh, my paintbrush just dropped over the edge. I'm just going to add this over here. Don't want that much paint on the brush though. And move it off and kind of get more paint in here. Around the and how you all doing there lurking in. It's really busy in the neighborhood. It's usually not that many people out and about. It's such a quiet neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling like that this daubing action is getting a more natural feel, like the water, like there's not completely like glass outside out there. We were going to be putting in the sail. I think I need to do use a different. I'm not really willing to work on the sail quite yet. Let's just go and I think I'm going to take some of this blue here. I want to make. I'm using right now. I'm. You can't see it, it's off camera, but this here is a fluorescent blue right over here. And so one of the things we don't want to do is make green. That's the one thing I do not want to have in my sunset is green. I don't want green anywhere in my sunset. Now, granted, in the reference photo, I can see that he did get some green in there, or whoever painted this. I don't know who painted this. I took it off the internet several years ago when I was trying to. Several years ago. I'm just going to mix that in. This is a magnesium hue. That's what I'm dealing with now. I don't have any primary blue in my palette. Maybe I will add primary blue, but what I do have as far as blue in my golden paints palette is magnesium hue and fluorescent blue. And in the reference photo, it does use uses a a blue that has a lot more light in it. And so we will use that in it. And the reference photo is an oil paint, and it's from an oil paint, and like I mentioned earlier, I can tell by the style of the painting. Hi, Kaz, welcome. So you didn't arrive at the end. I just started this painting 20 minutes ago. So you kind of arrived at the beginning, and yeah. So yeah, no, you're fine. Thank you, man. I'm enjoying my thoughts. Yeah, they're just stream of consciousness thoughts. It's that years and years and years of writing, because my primary art is poetry, which I did log the, like the 10,000 hours of work on to master writing poetry. I'm not like I ain't no Walt Whitman, I ain't no Allen Ginsberg, and I ain't no Charles Bukowski. And makes for good co-working, yeah. So I write stream of consciousness a lot. And my writing style is actually, I do a lot of what I have been doing for the last, since 2009 is when I started doing clip art, poetry, and stuff like that. Kind of going down through. But I've been doing stream of consciousness forever. I would be writing in my journal, because as a man, I just often, yeah, clip art poetry. Yes, absolutely. I'll show you. I'll give you an example here. It's not too far away, so I can do this. That's somebody else's book. I do have some examples. This is my book, a book of poems, and this entire book is done in essentially cross out or clip out poetry. And so in this booklet, it's 38 limited, I call limited word pool poems. Nobody yet seems to understand what that means except for me. So what happened when I wrote this thing, page 1 came from page 1 of some random book. Page 2 came from page 2 of some random book, all the way through. Each one of these pages came from a page of some random book, and then they weren't exact. They just had the rule I set for myself is they had to come on that particular page. It didn't have to be in any particular order. So I pulled words out and kind of like circling, or you're clipping words, or you're just circling words. And that was kind of what the rule was that I set for myself. I wrote, in a course of like 3 months, I wrote like 100 poems, this style. But the first, I do have a biography. I do have a bibliography on my website, Penhead Press. That I didn't include a bibliography of where this stuff came from in this booklet. And this booklet, I just made it at home, and I made it at home, and I sold it at an art fair 2 years ago and a year ago, 1 year ago and 2 years ago. But this last year, they didn't have the art fair, so that's that. But if I can locate my book easily without losing all of my, oh, there it is. This is my my book of random poems found on bathroom walls. Now this one is in the this one has a lot of risque stuff. I even actually organized the table of contents, the words in there, so that it would flow like a narrative. So this here, Kaz, is a clip art poem, and I'll read it. Agonism. The end in a nutshell is a hearse. The opportunity, excitement, curiosity. It didn't occur to me I lost control. The urge was illegal beyond words. Oh yes, he's dead. Maybe. And this is a clip art poem. And I used it. I think I used it. I used a poster for some play at Seattle Central Community College. And most all the poems in this book, with the exception of a few, were written in, like here, this is like in that style of that my book that I just showed you. This is the style of how those types of poems are written. And this came out of a, oh yeah, this the source of this one was an Oregon wine press, April 2013. And the poem is, yeah. So anyways, that's how the Ben and Tangy, yeah. So this is how this type of poem is written, and where you cross out all the words you don't want. And it's not. There's nothing in here that hasn't been done before. It was William Burroughs. William Burroughs was a master in doing that kind of poetry of the clip art, and he did so you should just look up some William Burroughs. But the style of clip art poetry goes back and back and back, and it goes back to the beginning of writing, or when we started writing words down on they would say that William Burroughs would probably say that the style went back to when people started writing on stones, because there is a creativity that exists. Yeah, Burroughs. It's the second word. It's the Burroughs. That's how it's spelled. And so there's there is, I guess he would say, is that because there's this type of there's a type of creative type that, hi Clint, welcome. Everything's going okay, I guess. I'm gonna try and wrap this up before midnight, and so I'm not gonna finish the whole thing, but I do need to. Anyways, what I was talking about was that type of creative that does that type of work, that rearranges existing pieces of information, is and I'm using your two brush technique too. I would have never thought of that if it wasn't for you. And so yeah, and I still haven't found my gum eraser that I was looking for. Anyway, so the type of creative that excels at clip art poetry, I guess it's the same type of person that would take a piece of technology and they would tear the whole thing down and then they would remake something different. The reverse engineering and then re-engineering. It's that type of creative that makes and clip art stuff. And so, you know, that type of creative has been with us from the beginning. Maybe they, you're way back when, and somebody's napping a flint knife, and then with that there's a stroke of genius to do something else. Yeah. Well, Clint is the one that Clint. Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. I did this with the two brush technique Saturday night, and so Clint and I painted something together, and he used the two brush technique, and that's where I got it from. Yeah. And so, where did you get it from, Clint? The two brush technique. And so, what I'm using here, Clint, is I'm using acrylic paints as I'm using these acrylic paints as like watercolors. Yeah, because I think what I like about it, Clint, is that I I'm not really mixing. I'm I'm not mixing. Okay, well I'm not I'm mixing the colors right on the paper, which I've done this before in the past in the past, and but now it's like this is now, of course, it wouldn't work on like a birch panel or something like that, or I think it would work good on a canvas. I'll have to try it on the canvas sometime. But I really like this cotton paper. Hoping that I can get it to. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It does dry up really fast. Yeah, but if you want it to not dry so fast, then you want to use something like this. If you're just doing, you change your channel name, Clint. So if you're working with acrylics, then you want to use a slow drying agent like this to extend the life of your paints out. And that's also why I'm using this thing, this box, and it has a cover on it that goes on that, so it keeps everything fresh while I'm away. And so, but yeah. Anyways, gonna put that in there. Since Taro asked backwards, sent me like for my birthday on my wish list, like, well, he sent me like a probably almost $50. Well, two of the items he sent was his own books. Yeah, yeah, you should do that. Maybe someday I'll take an art class too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're probably not gonna. I think I'm gonna probably only succeed in doing part of the background on this. Yeah. Yeah, why not? Exactly. Just make sure that in the future you don't, if you want to change your channel name to something else, don't telegraph it to anybody. Just keep the name to yourself, and then just go for it when you're ready to do it, when you're ready to make those changes. That's all. Which is what I did with my Tools of Fortune channel. I hung on to that name for like almost a year. I think it was about a year. It was about a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago that I came up with the name, and I opted to not. Yeah, you can always do clay, but I haven't changed my handle. I mean, my handle is still the same as it has been for like a year and some change. Maybe I'm still kind of technically doing ASMR, but I don't know. I'm doing a variety show, and there we go. Thinking that I don't want to make things too dark in here. Coming back in with this. Yeah. And I found my bottle of my tube of Azileron Crimson, which is one of my favorite colors. So when I was like telling you the other night, was when you eventually you go into getting some high quality or even high quality acrylic paints, I would do your primaries, and then a secondary set of colors. I would go with like an Azileron Crimson, your yellow ochre, and maybe like maybe a different shade of, maybe like me, I got these fluorescent colors. I have, the fluorescent colors. Like this is a fluorescent magenta. Now this is primary red, and this one is a quinacridone magenta, I believe. And you can use Liquitex colors are just as good as, I believe, as the golden, or almost so. So that was what I was like saying. And so this titanium white is not a heavy body. It is a semi-transparent, and this is a not a primary blue, but it is a um, magnesium hue blue, but it is also in a transparent. And so this everything in here are including the black, are all transparent or semi-transparent colors. And so that would just be my recommendation, is for anybody out there, if you're gonna, when you do go and start investing into more expensive paints, that, yeah, yeah. And so when you, because they are like way more expensive, then I would get those semi-transparents, and the transparents and the semi-transparents, and then for just because when you start to paint with more layers of paint, your paintings, um, they just get better. That's all. That's all I wanted to say, is that, yeah, that's the thing is, the more layers you paint, the more, yeah. So this is kind of a. Mm-hmm. Almost looks like it's starting to turn into mud up here. This is also taking some of that charcoal with it. And let's see here. Let's see. Did I get all the paint cleaned off? Yeah, let's go back and get that white. And some high up white clouds. Well, you know what? I did a lot of two-handed stuff when I was bartending too. You had to I'm gonna run that white clear up to the top, and then we'll let that dry, and we'll come back in, and yeah. Mm. Yeah, to a certain degree, yeah. Where I have the most difficult time is when I'm cutting my own hair. That's actually pretty rough. It's pretty rough, um, cutting my own hair to get it to, you know, even with my dominant hand, it's really rough to cut my own hair. And I should just go to the barber, but I just don't want to. I just don't want to spend the money on it. That's just what it comes down to. I think I would rather spend the money on some ice cream, which my body doesn't need, than a haircut. And then especially the fact that I just got hair on the sides. That's all that's left. and I'm just not ready to, you know, just not ready to let things go like that. Okay. Well, I think maybe what I'll do is I'm going to do the sails, and then I'm going to do the sails, and I'm going to call it a night, because I do need to get up early tomorrow. Yeah. I use two mirrors as well. It's been a while since I cut my own hair, but if my aunt would come back and visit, then she could cut my hair, which the last time she did was about a year ago for a wedding. And there we go. Let's put all these different colors in here. I'm gonna make the sails that look like they're kind of translucent. And oh, yeah, well, I haven't tried cutting anybody else's hair. I just started cutting my own hair like 4 years ago. And a lot of things, it's like, if I really go out and admit it, that I don't, it just, there's, yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I don't need to talk about that at all. Let's come in here with this fluorescent red, kind of brighten things up a bit. Give it a different kind of a color scheme coming on the sail. Well, yeah, you can save a lot of money when you do it for yourself. I mean, if I can get myself a nice, you know, a wig that I do have some wigs that I use occasionally, not for out in public, but for this show, I use a wig. I have a wig that it gives me an '80s hair glam band look, but it's the but I only paid like $5 for it, and it makes me sneeze, and so it's not really a doable. It's not something that you could use for anything other than costume for a photo thing. Not, but if I had a bunch of money, I'd get a wig. Get a wig that I could, before I really do get old, so I could look like an '80s rocker, because I've always like that look of an '80s metal guy. You know the look that I'm talking about. Just for fun. Of course, I wouldn't want my neighbors to know that I had a wig, because unless I was heading out to, yeah, exactly, or like on Black Sabbath, you're gonna be like an Ozzy Osbourne look or something like that. So I don't know. Someone like I really don't know who. I kind of think I know who George Michael is, but just something like that. It's just for fun. But when you live in the rural areas, you can really get judged heavily for, yeah, yeah, I yeah. Oh, Wham. Oh, the only thing is I knew that the reference to Wham from my favorite one of my favorite rock star movies. The rock star with Mark Wahlberg. I've seen that movie hundreds of times. I really love that movie. But when you live in a when I was saying that, when you live in a rural area, you really can't. There's so many things you just plain can't do. You can't get away with. And now, granted, most people in my area do not know that I do a YouTube channel. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Careless Whispers, and yeah, I think I've heard the name George Michaels, and yeah, I think I'm liking that sale. One of the things I really like is when you mix those fluorescent colors, and I'm gonna come and take that blue and just mix it down on here. It'll be fine when it dries. Yeah. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Hey, Amanda. Welcome. Yeah, we're working on a sailboat. Yeah, I looked in on one of your live streams today, and did that for a short time. I still usually try to take a day off YouTube, but since I started posting on a second channel. I'm not really, well, I took all of, yeah, I was there. I was there probably about a half hour. Um, we can get this to come in here. Yeah. Yeah, these sails are pretty cool. Trying to get it that. Eventually, I see it was like this is the last minute pop up too. I was actually trying to get it to go a little earlier, but I got this hankering to take a picture of all of my tarot collection, so I could post it on like my Reddit account, and so I spent like I have but then I spent a bunch of time looking for one of my decks that I couldn't find. I still can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. I know it's in this room. Nothing really leaves this room. It's like my gum eraser. I couldn't find it either. And it was like right before I did my Friday night show, I had the gum eraser, but then somehow it just vanished, and there's too much water on this piece of paper. I can't really do too much more. And get this sail. Well, as long as it starts to get a 3D effect, that's all I really care about. All right, let's do let's see, let's do some part of the boat. I think I'll just put this color in the boat, and then some other ones. Yeah. I did take Sunday off right after my afternoon show and I was gonna like edit a video, but I just didn't have the mental space to do it. So instead, I just watched TV, which is probably fine. And put all these different colors in here. Oh, you don't want to get a speeding ticket. Yeah, I know, Clint. That was what I lost was my needed eraser. But I did. I mean, I have one of these ones, and I used it when I was doing a sketch here because there was a line I got it wrong, and okay, you got the monetization. That's great. Yeah, because you must have like, I mean, you must have like what 10,000 hours of watch time or more. Oh, car issues. Yeah, I hate car issues. Yeah, this is still too wet, so I can't do anything there. Let's go build. Let's go build. Going in and we'll go in here and make the this over here, and we use this colors here. Come back in, and you have about 10,000, yeah, watch time. I figure you have a lot. So is your average view duration? Is it? What is it like? Like I know because mine. You'll have a bunch of people that'll be in your chat and people lurking in, but then there'll be a whole bunch of people that just kind of look in and go on and then blow on by. And so what I would, yeah. And I'm sure that for this video here, my average view duration is Oh yeah, well I have a hair dryer that's right behind that. You know that gold sheet that I put behind myself. I have a hair dryer there, and I'm gonna go in with this Azuron Crimson, and we're gonna put that in here, and we'll see how it dries. And then I'll come in with another color to redo the guidelines. Oh, well, yeah, I could do that. You're right. And I was like looking at that one of those ones. Oh, well, when you just finish your stream, it will give you all of that information. So when you put and then so before you push the button that says done, well, that's where you find your AVD. So like for instance, I write down all this information before I turn my stream off. So like my last my after church chat, my it had like 2.9 watch hours. That was just for that while the video played. The whole video was 50 minutes and 39 seconds long, and it had almost 3 hours of watch time, and the average view duration was 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And then if I go to when I was with Clint on Friday night, the average view time was 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And there were 174 chats, and the video length was 2 hours and 34 minutes and 58 seconds. And the total watch time was 9.1 hours. And then when I painted the bird, that there was 1 hour and 25 minutes was the video length, and the total watch time was 5.2 hours, and the average view duration was 2 minutes and 51 seconds. And so, but what I didn't get, you used to be able to get this number and this number when you just finished your live stream, but they changed things. And so you get, instead, you get the number of views, you get your average view duration, you get how many peak people at your peak point in time, how many people are looking on at the same time, and then how many likes, how many subs, and how many people are engaging in the chats. And then, so when I just finish that video, then I go directly into my YouTube studio, and then I go down to analytics and I pick up that video, and that's where I get the total watch time. And so I want to get the watch time like just right after that stream is finished, and I don't want to like F around for waiting for that number to change. That's just me. I'm kind of like, what is that? Anal? Is that the word I'm looking for? And I'm kind of uh I like the data. I like even though I may not ever really go back and look at that, but nevertheless I have all that data written down. Yeah. So that's how I can get to it. I mean, it's like, yeah. Anyways, you kind of get to it from there, and it's just, but you're on, when you go on, you're on for a long time. I can just imagine that you just push the button and you want to be done with it, and so yeah, I could get that, and then eventually, I guess it really doesn't matter. I mean, the only part where it matters is do you want to um do you how do you it's do you want to get better? I mean, how it's like, what do you want to do in order to you know, improve how long people are looking in on your stuff, and so and that is actually just a crapshoot. I don't know that like I think for this stuff with the painting, the going as fast as I possibly can is what I think can improve my my the watch duration. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's kind of what my feelings are. Is that how do you make it more interesting? How to do that? And oh, I see. So, Kaz, did you go to a tropical? Have you been to her page too? I mean, because she does. She's like this. She's an excellent reader as far as a tarot reader is concerned. Um, very gifted as a tarot reader. Kind of like tarot asked backwards is a really gifted tarot reader too. And in many respects, I'm not even sure that. Yeah, I'm not even because I suspect that Tropical Empress can spirit could. I bet she could do a reading without the tarot cards. That's where I kind of feel that think that she's gifted enough that she could do that. And tarot asked backwards is somebody who's gifted enough that he could do a cold reading on a person without out the tarot cards. Um, I can do a reading on. I don't trust. Uh, I can do readings on people too without tarot cards, but which because I've done them before in the past, long before I even picked up the tarot, and but I just didn't see it as that. I just kind of saw it as okay, there is my intuition, and yeah, you're welcome. Well, yeah, I'm just like my analysis of your giftedness. I suspect that you don't need the tarot cards at all to do a reading on people, and I was like, because I was like looking at things and how when I reflect back in my past that I think that I was doing readings on people and just looking at them or whatever without. I don't know if that makes any sense. Yeah, yeah. There's her link. Go check that out. And there we go. Kind of put this in here. Maybe we make some darker zones. Yeah, yeah, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah. Because it's like when I was younger, and I would make up stories about people. I kind of look at people and I remember this. When I was in at community college. I didn't do it beyond that. I would be hanging out with most of these friends. I was hanging out with people I went to high school with, and yeah, reading people exactly. That's what I was talking about. Reading people. You're doing cold readings of people and being able to. I just assumed that I was doing creative writing in the moment, and I would completely make up a backstory on a person. I never really would have tested it to see if it was true or not. I have a, but have a suspicion that I was reading people, and yeah, exactly. Versus reading cards, and the cards are just that. Um, they're just that tool in order to put words around what you're thinking, words about what you're around what you're thinking, and that's kind of so I have a my own homemade. I have my diviner kit, and I don't have all my decks in it, but my diviner kit that I use for divining and reading people is this is my new deck that's going in. It goes into my diviner kit, and this one cost me an arm and a leg to get it, and it's a pocket-sized keyword deck, and I don't particularly care for the art on it, but I do like but it's a pocket-sized keyword deck. And getting a keyword deck in this size, because I don't have all the cards memorized, and granted, if you are doing an intuitive reading, you don't necessarily need to. You're looking at the picture and how, but just like when you do that clip art, when I do that clip art poetry and all that, that's kind of it's the same. It's the same thing going on. It's the same thing going on, and this is a much higher quality. Um, well, this individual designed that deck, and so this is my. I was using a larger keyword deck. I was using the Apprentice Tarot in my that. So this is like my principal tarot deck that's in my diviner kit, and then I have this deck. I made this. They made this out of losing crossword scratch tickets, and so I'll take your question, and then there are words that pop out at me, and then I think it's people that say that it's pretty accurate when I read with all these little tools. And then I also have in here is a bunch of Scrabble tiles and some dice. That's in this. And I also use this missile. I use this missile to divine as well, including the pictures and everything else. And this is now, granted, it's hard to get stuff in here. It's hard to get images, stuff that's into the first part. Usually, you're just looking at words that are in this section here. And that's this is my other big tool that I use for divining. And I'm gonna add, if it works, I'm gonna add this little pocket New Testament in there as well. But I haven't really tested it yet. But it's kind of nice. It's a nice size, pocket size. And anyways, that's kind of in that. And then I have a couple Oracle decks that I am using, plus a major arcana tarot deck too. And then this major arcana tarot deck, and that's also in my and so with this one, of course, you can use the Fool to be whatever your yeah when you were in youth group. Yeah, so this is also This is a Major Arcana deck, which is really nice too. I have paint on my hand, so I'm not going to pull any of the cards out. And I also have a couple highly nuanced oracle decks for like love questions and things like that. And anyways, that's, yeah, I think I'm liking that there. Yeah. Well, I mean, what I lost from when I moved from Seattle back to this area where I grew up in is I lost my Catholic Bible. But like I still have this. This was also given to me when I was confirmed as a Catholic. Was this Sunday Missal? It's got all three church years in it. Now, granted, at the current time, I've go to the church that I grew up in, which was a Lutheran church, but of course, I don't tell anybody that I do tarot. I mean, yeah, I go to a liberal church, but you just don't want to there's a lot of things you just don't want to advertise. Don't want to advertise stuff like that. Looks like I'm going over the time that I said I would go over, but yeah. I think that background looks pretty cool though. Yeah, your Bible when you're in youth group as a kid, yeah. Yeah, I'm missing my Catholic Bible. I just don't know. I mean, I see that one went to. Of course they will. Of course they will. But most people aren't. I mean, there are a couple neighbors who know I have this channel. They've and they don't. They're kind of like cool about it. You know, most people are pretty cool about it because people are a lot cooler about things than you think they are. But I'm not, being a person who's living in a rural area, and I'm generally super paranoid about a lot of things, and this comes back from growing up and and so forth. Yeah, I'm paranoid about. Yeah, I imagine it would be much different in the Bible Belt, and I'm very thankful that I don't live in the Bible Belt. But yeah, yes, sir, I am, Kaz. I am. I'm enjoying that, and it's not like I like have I actually have thought about going to going to a flea market and setting up a booth to do tarot readings, but I wonder how it would be, if it would go over very well. I think if I lived in a large, if that flea market wasn't also in a rural area, I think it would work. A psychic, I don't know. We probably have psychic fairs around here, but they might involve 100-mile drive for me, and so maybe the state capitol has. I haven't actually heard the state capitol. I don't know if Oregon, if Salem has. Salem is a conservative town, though. I can't imagine that. I know that, but there is a tarot shop in Salem. But there's more porno stores than there is tarot shops. You know. Anyways, not that I haven't been into one of those, but I just know what they. When I used to go to Costco, you'd see it along the way. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, it is. It is. It's just that, and it is tough when there are a lot of things that are tough when you live in rural areas. And but Amanda, there is in my hometown, which is about less than 10 miles away, where I went to high school at and grade school and everything. There's a lady living there that does is a medium that does shows. She does like 4 shows a year in the town, and people come in and to go talk with their loved ones that have crossed over. So the this area is a lot more liberal than what it used to be, but I'm still. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there is a correlation between that, Cass. There is a correlation between that. I was like, I do follow a lot of political news and stuff, but like I've mentioned many times that I do not do politics on this show, and do not do politics on this show, but I do follow follow politics, um, but not as much as like I did like a couple of years ago, because it's like the energies that exist are so they're just so draining, and there's so much hopelessness out there, and I cannot be around that energy. And it's just when people talking apocalyptic stuff, I can't be around that energy. I can't take that stuff into me, and so I tend to avoid. I'm avoiding a whole lot more stuff that's going on in the world outside of me, and yeah, 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 and so there's a lot of different stuff going on, and yeah, yeah. So yeah, a lot of the stuff is just not something I can. I can't take that energy into, like I'm not gonna say that, but there's some people some people make their channels all about that stuff. I mean, and that's fine, but I can't take that energy into it, because when you start going down that road of spiritual and religious apocalypticism, and it exists within every single faith path. It's not just a Christian thing. It exists in every world religion has it in there. And coming even down to, your more individual paganisms and different individual religions, it all exists. Yes, and exists in that too. And when you look at church history, yeah, yeah, exactly. And when you look at church history, and you look at and you go down and look up how many times people have set a date for when the rapture, the book of Revelations, or the second coming is supposed to come. You know, it's been it's been done. They set those dates millions of times, and well, maybe not quite millions of times, but too many times. Yeah. Can I go back into the sale there and do some more? Hey, Clint, what do you think about the background here? Should I go darker, or do you think it's dark enough? Maybe the second coat when I work on this thing again. But maybe, having grown up Lutheran and being Catholic, and Catholics generally don't pay much. They don't spend a whole lot of time in the Book of Revelations. That's the thing is that. So it's like, yeah, because it's really not important. I just can see it as like it's coming along nicely. Yeah, yeah. I just see that whole. My own personal opinion when it comes to the Book of Revelations is that it shouldn't even be in the Bible at all. That's kind of my beliefs about it. It has no business being in the Bible, because it doesn't pertain to anything. It doesn't pertain to us. It doesn't pertain to anything that has happened in our world. It doesn't. That's just my opinion, and that's what I think. And I think it's just a. You could say that, but I don't know. I don't think that's true either, Clint. I think that it's just, it all just depends on what you're. Let's do work a little bit more on the sail. I think I might want to come and bring in a little bit more of that yellow energy in here, and then, yeah. Anyways, but if I've talked about it a little bit on this channel, what I think that, and I think the reason why Martin Luther kept it in the Bible was because it does pertain to an individual's spiritual journey. I mean, you could use, yeah. I don't know, Clint. I haven't had an income in 2 years, and so I haven't paid taxes in 2 years, except I do pay the voluntary tax. I pay, no, I'm going on third year without having an income. Since I started taking care of my mother, I sacrificed my income in order to do that. And so, which is hence is one reason why I cut my own hair. I do get, I can, and yeah. Okay, let's go clean that off. But no, with no income, you can't. There's no taxes to pay. But I do I do pay. I buy state lottery tickets, and so I'm buying state lottery tickets, and so um, let's come in here with that yellow and put that yellow on top of here and add some light to it. Taxed, yeah. Most taxed country in the world. Well, yeah. Well, yeah, but you are, But Clint, if you look at the United States and if you look at the United States, Clint, and you add up what people pay in taxes, when you look at federal, you look at your Social Security, your payroll tax, your federal tax, your payroll tax, and then you go down to the state level, and you got your state income tax, property tax, sales tax. Not every state, my state doesn't have a sales tax, but we do have a gas tax. There's a liquor tax, a gas tax, a liquor tax, and then there are like entertainment tax. So every time you stay at a hotel, you pay a tax, and then there's taxes on electrical transmission lines. So when you pay your utility bills, yeah, and you pay your utility bills, there's a tax on the transmission lines. So there are lots of levels of taxation that occurs. A lot of the stuff that's hidden, but if you include medical, if you include what a lot of people pay in if you include insurance as like a tax too, you could end up looking that you might be paying 60-70% of your income in some kind of, if you include the privatized taxes that you pay, like for health insurance, car insurance, which you have to have car insurance. You can't drive without car insurance. Car insurance and property insurance. Yeah, yeah, you see that. So $700 a month, and so you include all of that stuff in there, and you're looking at the United States with a some tax where you're paying most of your taxes are going to what we pay a $1 trillion a year budget just on the military expenses, and then the fact is that they paid for 2 wars off the books, Clint. 2 wars. Yeah, well, okay, we got all these taxes, and you don't want to pay all these taxes, but then you would always go to some place like the Philippines. I guess I talk about the Philippines a lot. I do talk about the Philippines a lot. I'll admit that. Yeah. Anyways, and so talking about this stuff, we ain't talking about politics. We're just talking about real life. Actually, I think that's pretty cool. We put that yellow in there and get some light in the top of the sails there. Mm, yeah. You're in just medicines. Well, being that I don't have an income, I don't actually. I get meta free at point of service um, medical here in Oregon Health Plan, and then but on Wednesday I'm going to have a tooth pulled out. Yeah, but it doesn't cover root canals and doesn't cover stuff like that. I do need my molars are getting bad. 300,000 a year yearly. Yeah, so yeah. So if you just look at that, these sails have got to dry first before I can do anything else on them. What is this color? Oh, some yellow. Yeah. Yeah, anyways. I think I'm done. Wait. What's going on here with this thing? I got these drips on here. I don't want to put any green in here. It's all right. Yeah, and gene therapy and men. Yeah, that's right. So you actually, Clint, you actually get a good return on your taxes and shit. You're being taxed to the to the, but would need to be transplanted. Yeah, so if you want to look at it, what you're getting, if you're adding all that stuff up, well, a lot of people are getting stuff for their money. Yeah, and one of my grandnieces, she had 3 rounds of chemotherapy before she was like 5 years old, and she was $1 million baby when she was born because she was born with cancer and stuff, and so um you got $1 million babies out there. Well, when you're dealing with these touch screens, it's kind of hard to get everything working right there. Let's go put this light in here. hmm And I'm done here for the night. I'm gonna finish this. I think I'll come back and finish it tomorrow night, actually. There we go. Put my paint box up. I got it on for 90 minutes. I was only going to be on for a little bit less. It was a great conversation. It's a good start. Oh no, that thing broke off. So this one isn't there. Good start. Good start. I'll pull the reference photo out again, and here was the reference photo that I was working off of. And I painted this once before on watercolor, and so this one is, if it is acceptable, it goes to Taro Ask Backwards for his birthday coming up, and for actually because Taro Ask Backwards did gift this to me for my birthday, and so that's that one. And then also he had 2 of his books of poetry, and I read from this on Sunday. I'm not going to read from it now. And tomorrow I'm going to take my mama and take my mother and I'm going to take the little dog, and we'll go down to the coast, which is not very far of a drive away. And I haven't been to the coast in several months, and hopefully it's a nice day, but if not, it's okay too. And all right, and I enjoyed hanging out with Clint and with Kaz and with Amanda and with everybody else who stopped in. Let me just take a look at this from a different view here. On my other channel, as soon as I get up to 50 subs, I'm at 17 subs on Tools of Fortune, and when I get up to the 50, then I'm going to start doing live readings on it. But until then, I will be I was going to go on the More Intuitive Me's channel today to do readings, but she was sick. She called in sick, and so that didn't happen. And just go to my yeah. You know what? Hang on for a second. Let me open up my laptop, and I'll kind of go in. I can go in here. Yeah, I'll post it on the community page, Kaz. I'll post it as soon as I get off. Oh, on Angie's channel, yeah. You know, I'm gonna go read on Rain's channel soon, towards the end of this next month here. Hold on a second, guys. I can on this machine, I can start live streaming really soon, but I don't have the Wi-Fi. It's a Linux machine, and the Wi-Fi antenna does not it's not very good in this room here, and so I have to do it on a hard line. And I could do it outside of my garage because I have a internet in my garage, and so I could plug in there and do some things. But from a mobile device, because hold on a second. I'm gonna post that link for this channel in the chat here just a second. Okay, and let's see. Okay, let's go into this live, which I am in right now. That's interesting. Not that live. What the hell is going on here? Oh, I'm getting an echo effect is what's going on. Let's just turn that off. There we go. Okay, I'm going to post the link to my new channel in the chat here just as soon as here we go. I'm in that new channel, and let me go to in my own little boat. Okay. Oh, okay. I've posted it in my channel under, let's see if it's popped up yet. Did it pop up? Or did it freeze? Let's try it again. Okay, let's try it this way. Okay. I'm hoping this works. So the link I put in here is my new channel. Yeah, random idiot. Well, that's my first channel, man. You don't need to sub me that channel. That is my some random idiot. Yeah. Subscriber number 18. Thank you. And so I'm on my way to 50. And but right now, what I'm doing with that Kaz is I am doing a boatload of video editing of stuff that's on my telephone. I'm gonna remove. I got multiple videos to edit, and I'm gonna post them on that channel. And so yeah, just like deck reviews and stuff like that. And I have some other more extensive deck reviews that I'm gonna do. Like I'll just show you here. These two terrible decks, I'm going to do some reviews on them. soon. They were great ideas. You know, this one was a pretty bad idea. They didn't use. All right, all right. I'm pretty much over. So this here, this is, I would say, if you're gonna, I would say never buy novelty decks. And yeah, no, I don't worry about the random idiot. That's Kaz. The random idiot is my very first YouTube channel. It's my very first YouTube channel, but this deck here is, well, I can look at it. It was like, because there's got all these obscure Marvel characters in it, and I don't know why they opted to go with obscure characters. And this is actually an interesting deck, except that they took a whole bunch of artistic liberties, but then they didn't reflect anything into their guidebook. And it's like the person who did the guidebook, it's like they sent the art department one set of instructions, and they sent the writing department another set of instructions, and they went to town and they made this tarot deck, and that they put it all together, and nobody looked at it. It's like there wasn't an editor that looked at this whole damn thing. And so whoever did it, I don't think it's like maybe nobody even knew anything about tarot, or took enough time to research the tarot to do anything. They just, went out there and made a novelty deck, and oh yeah, people are gonna buy this and blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, it's interesting and has a bunch of. It too would have been good if it had all mainstream characters and no oddball characters that nobody's really ever heard of. But anyway, that's just my beef on that. So I do have a lot of ideas about, want to talk about that kind of stuff. But those two. Well, I gotta go anyway. So good night. Good night. Yes.